Okay, final video. Then it's the next part of whatever I just did. I'll post everything tomorrow morning or whatever, so I can get ready to go to hell to bed. Um, yeah, because I'm at 87%. So in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, if someone's coming in to tackle you, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, they already got you on the ground because you're rolling. In MMA, for like UFC type environments or whatever, I was taught in a fight by more than most of the people that taught me martial arts that if someone tackles you and you can't avoid being body slammed, then your best bet is to elbow here, knees up. So it's boom at the same time. And you want your targets to be in the solar plexus and in those shoulder blades. So it's boom. So did you stop them? Come find out that you can't do that in the MMA environment. You can't do that in the UFC. You can't do that in any of those sports entertainment type things, except maybe wrestling. And in UFC and the MMA, they have so many standard rules that you must follow. Sorry, I really love tea. Also, I was really thirsty. So, these are allowed. I mean, you can, like, if they're coming in and you sidestep and do that, that's allowed. But what's not allowed is James Williams Jr. They're coming in, sidestep, boom. That's not allowed because my target is those 3 bones on the back of your neck. Which people say, you probably shouldn't do that because you will probably kill or cripple someone. Hello, I'm a street fighter. The MMA arena is a controlled environment. It's hard for me to regulate myself on that because I have been taught from a young age that if they're coming in, you have possibly, if the timing is right, which I'm going to give you a lighter scope number because everybody's reaction time is different. So I'm going to say most fights generally in real life last 3 to 5 minutes. Real fights. In the ring, they last longer because people expect you to go the distance. And if you're not somebody with a glass jaw who's going to go to sleep, then you can go the distance. But in a real fight, none of that shit matters. Because if somebody's coming at you, you have so many microseconds to decide, are you going to tip your forehead and take the hit, or are you going to get the hell out of the way? Most of us are going to use common sense and try to get the hell out of the way. So you have that block. It's a push block. So that's for this punch. But when somebody's coming at you full force, you want to block and stick your foot out. So they keep going even though you've tumbled them off balance. In that process, you can grab them and put them in a hole. If you're not really good at fighting, but really great at wrestling, that's a technique that will work for you. Now, in the event that that's not going to happen, and you sidestep them and you push block, you jam a knee into them because they're already going. So you hit the knee right in the gut and then you elbow them in the freaking spine because that's what I was taught to do. So one of my boys, who's a friend of one of my boys, who's doing MMA, he said, James, you couldn't do MMA. And I was like, sure I could. Now that they have my weight class, and if I didn't have this messed up ass hip, it's like, no, you can't do MMA because you don't like to follow rules. I said, well, technically MMA is street fighting. He said, yeah, and in the street that would be great, but in the MMA ring you have rules. I was like, so I can't hit nobody in the nuts, and I can't poke out their eyes. So what else can I not do? I was like, well, you like elbows and knees. I was like, because they're part of my arsenal, dude. If someone's throwing a straight jab and they're in a running motion, it's a whole lot easier for me to let them run into my knee and hurt themselves instead of me giving a full extended kick, unless that's the only option I have at the time. And when you're in a fight, your options change on the fly. They really do. You can plan a kick all you want, but your body's going to react to whatever is the quickest move and motion at the time. When martial arts becomes second nature, whatever you have been trained to do, you're going to do. And you're not going to know it until it's done. So if you're trying to front kick when somebody's running at you, you're going to front kick, especially if that's how you practice. If you don't change up your practicing skills, if you don't change your skills at all, if you don't multitask, how you're trained is how you're going to fight. And if someone's coming at you and you have been trained that the axe kick is the most effective kick when someone's running at you, you're going to axe kick the shit out of them. Simple as that. And I will tell you many other things, but I will tell you that how you are trained is how you're going to fight. And I was taught that axe kick is pretty damn dangerous. So if you catch them going up and you come back down on their ass, that's a true axe kick. Now if it's just a straight front kick, it's a front high kick, you're just going to go front high kick. And it's going to stop them right there. So that's great. Now if it's a front side high kick, like if you watch a lot of the people on Instagram, they're doing a front side high kick instead of a front kick. And it's the same thing if they're running at you and you do a jumping front kick versus a jumping front push kick, right? If you keep things basic, you're more likely to survive the fight versus if you try to do that fancy smancy shit, right? And there's a reason why I say that, because it's the truth. You know, if you keep it basic, you have a better chance of surviving the fight versus, you know, having the fight go a longer distance. But in the UFC and MMA world, you want the fight to go the distance. Now, I was talking with my boy who was friends with the guy with the MMA. I'm leaving names off for a reason. And he's like, well, James, you like to clothesline and ridge hand. I said, well, it's MMA. I should be able to do that. He said, yeah. But James, you're literally trying to ridge hand them in the throat. I said, yes, it's a fight. I want to survive it. He's like, yeah, but see, that's illegal and you'll probably kill them. He's like, it's a fight, dude. It's my job to damn near kill them because they're going to damn near kill me if I don't. He said, yeah, but you got like too much fire, and if someone tries to tackle you, what are you going to do? I said, I'm going to clap on this shit. He's like, yeah, you can't do that. I said, let me get this straight. I can't knee them in the solar plexus and elbow them in the spine. I can't clap on them when they're coming in for a tackle or double leg takedown. I was like, so I'm just supposed to let them body slam me? He's like, well, if you can get out of the way, that's fine. I said, and if I can't? Because in case you can't tell, I'm only 125 pounds. He's like, yeah, you might get body slammed. I said, not on my watch. He said, then you would probably get kicked out of MMA or the UFC immediately. I said, well, then it's not a fight if it's not a fight. If it's a controlled environment, it is still a fight. It's just a controlled environment. Where I, being a small guy on the street, have been picked up quite a few times, but I've never gotten body slammed because I know how to avoid that. Because when people come in to scoop you up, boom, if you just stand there, you deserve to get slammed. You know, most people always come low at me because I'm short, and that makes it easy for me to sidestep, boom, and then boom. You know, and those will work versus me trying to go all out. You know, because I mean, they come at me and I can get that front kick up there, and they're running into it, so that momentum is what knocks them down. I don't have to do much. Once they get down, I can get on top of them and start beating them. And before I end the video, I want to talk about that because I've never done that to anyone out of respect and honor. There's a lot of twists and turns that he was explaining to me, and I was like, so I can't use the hyper knee if he overextends. I can't grab him and slam him like that. He said, well, one, you're not wearing shirts, so it's more than likely you're not going to be able to grip him. If y'all have been fighting for a while, you're going to have a lot of sweat. And I was like, well, if he's coming at me and I can push him, I don't have to grip him. He's like, yeah, but James, I know you. You might try to grab him by the hair and do all kinds of stuff. I say, well, yeah, because it's what I was taught to do. And the thing with that, there's a lot of things in MMA that what I was taught to do is probably not the right course of action. Now, I will tell you this, you're going to get into that for you're going to have to adjust your fighting capability, because they were told to me I would have to adjust my fighting capability, but the good news on that was, at the time, they still didn't have my weight class, and that was like 4 or 5 years ago, and they were getting my weight class in the UFC, but they didn't have it in MMA or UFC at the time until like 4 or 5 months down the road from us having that conversation. I caught on the TV and it's like, now we have a phantom weight and they were accepting applications. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, I just had a hip replacement. They will never let me in the UFC. They might give me a job as a coach, but they will never let me get in that ring, not as a competitor. And I understand that, and that's great and everything. And like I tell people all the time, 20 years ago, when they were just blowing up, and when I was like in my prime, I'd have been a dominating force. There was just one problem. I could not gain weight. And they didn't have any lightweight classes that were truly lightweight. They didn't have a fathom weight. And I know this because in all the things that they had, nothing was under 120 pounds. Nothing. In fact, nothing was under 130 pounds, and I weigh $120. And now I'm cruising in between $121 and $125. So I'm back in my high school weight. And my military weight was 135 pounds. And so I've lost a fuck ton of weight due to depression and stuff. But your body adapts to fighting. Your body adapts. And I would love to be able to go back up to at least 125, 130, but the hip replacement doctor said, no. You can't go back to 130 until your second hip is replaced. You keep it at 125, 121. Do not go above 125. So I was like, okay, my ideal weight anyway is 125. So if I can get back up to 125, I'm going to be great. And I'm trying to get back up to that, whether the doctors know it or not. It's another ball game. But, a lot of the fights that you will learn are lethal. In UFC, there's control of your lethal. Alright? That being said, I'm going to end this video with one more thing before I go. As I was about to say. When you are in a fight, above all else, I better make another video because that's not what I wanted to say. But when you are in a fight, above all else, it is survival of the fittest. And you will adapt and change in mid-fight every time. Now that they have my fighting class, there's no way that I will ever be able to get into any of those things. However, if they need a job with a guy who needs a coaching job, I'll take it. I'm James Williams Jr., Company Effort number 2, be seeing you, and yes, I have to make another video because I forgot what I wanted to say. Maybe watching this will trigger my memory.